Alright, here we go. Since the last time I was here, it's been a little while since I've done a video. Been working away through the electrical on the boat. I did test the old Super Sport lights. They were good. Nothing wrong with them. I just don't particularly care for them, and as long as I'm putting all the effort in, I've gone ahead and rewired for these new LEDs that I put in. I put in good heavy brake type wiring. I'll neaten this all up by putting some zip ties on it and getting it neatened up. I'll do the same for these pigtail wires. But I did turn these lights on. They do work very, very well. They're very bright. What I removed out of the old wiring that was going to the Super Sports, this is just very light duty lamp cord or even just electrical cord that you have in a house. Really not appropriate for marine environment. So I'm not sure that the Super Sport lights that were there, even though the lights themselves when I plugged them in worked, certainly wasn't too thrilled with the wiring somebody had done. So I've replaced it. Switches in. What other goodies have I got here? Let's see. I'm getting excited because this boat's coming together. Let's go turn our batteries on. And batteries are on all. I did put in the console disconnect switch underneath. So we'll go ahead and flip that on. I'm going to want it on anyway, I think, at some point. It's on. There goes our radio. And nice bright lights now. I think they're going to be quite good. Nice and bright. Both of them are on. Like most LEDs, you don't really appreciate how bright they are until it's dark out. A little something I'm going to work on tonight. I did put a replacement switch in, but you can see that it's loose and moves around the console. I don't like that. Believe it or not, I went to Home Depot and I forgot my light. Forgot to bring my switch in. Let's go out in the cold. It's really cold out. Wow, now that I'm outside here and I see those lights shining through the garage door, I'm getting appreciation for just how bright those things are. But I did go to Home Depot and got a switch. It's gotten very, very cold here again. It's down in the teens. But I did find at Home Depot, I got this rocker switch, which looks to me like it's extremely similar to the ones that were there. So this switch is going to get pulled back out. This switch is going to go in. The style of it sure looks like the ones that were there. What other goodies we got on tap for tonight? I keep crawling underneath the console. I have this old LED light bar that I had for years, really, that never did anything with. I'm going to mount it inside underneath with a switch, so if I crawl under there I don't have to try and hold the flashlight. So that'll go in. And then from my former pontoon boat, I've already double checked and tested it. I've got my marine radio and antenna. They get mounted. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to mount it just yet, but I will probably right in this space. I don't really have a whole lot of choice. Not quite sure how I'm going to mount the antenna yet. It was mounted to my old console that was in my other boat. It was right on the console. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. We'll figure that out. But that's what's on tap for tonight. So do a few more things, and then we'll go ahead and get things on video. Here's our switch. I like to put in. You can tell by the style that's much closer to what the other ones are. So I'm going to go ahead and reach in. Just 2 taps and then hold that on. I lay down. It's new. It certainly looks nicer. Alright, panels off. Next up, light. Alright, so I keep adding electronics into this console, and I keep trying to figure out where to put grounds. I happen to have this from another project I did a while ago. It's just a regular, it's 110, it's a bus bar, but it's a grounding bus bar. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my console, and I'm going to begin tying all my grounds to it so that I have a common point for ground, and I'm not wondering where the ground is. Lots of room for expansion. I think it's going to make my life a lot easier in the long run. So this is going under the console. I'm going to start using it for grounds. Alright, been a little bit busy here. I thought I'd be a little innovative here. If you've ever had to work underneath in a dark area like this, you're working on your wiring, you can't figure out where things are, you're trying to hold a flashlight, it's never easy. Well, I got tired of doing that. I've been under too many consoles, too many boats, dark spaces, can't stand it. Let there be light. So I've gone ahead and mounted up my LED strip, and you'll see in the middle I went ahead and nothing goes to waste. I had some battery tie downs and some extra ones I didn't need, the way I mounted my battery boxes, so I used that to mount the light. And It's a bit of a mess under here yet. I'll be tightening all these wires up with wire ties and looming before I'm all done. But if I can get under here. I wanted to recess. I didn't want the switch out on the console. I wanted it underneath. So again, I had another battery tie. And now we have another switch. This was the switch that was in the console that I didn't like, because it didn't seem to match the other switches when I put it on, so I went and bought the one I mentioned earlier tonight on the from Home Depot that does match the other style and all the other lights. So now I got running lights, anchor lights, very bright running lights, well, fog lights, I don't know what you call them on a boat, I just lights. I did test this horn just out of curiosity. It was in the boat. It was just sort of in the junk pile with the boat. I was going to buy a horn, but horn's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll hook this up and I'll get it going to the wire. And now I don't have to hold my flashlight under there. I can work with I can go ahead and work with the LEDs on in there, and one less thing to be falling on my head and struggling to hold and get where I want it. So now I have light under my console. I'm happy about that. Alright, horn's mounted and wired up. And let's give it a test. So this was the momentary switch here. Let's see what we get. I'd say it works. One more thing down. So now I'm going to try and figure out where to mount that marine radio. Alright, back on the boat today. I've gone ahead and mounted my radio here. I've got it where I want it. It's not in the way of the shift handle. It's in a convenient location. I've somewhere along the line lost my hanger. I think it broke. I'll look around on other little boats we got laying around and see if I've got one. I don't know if I do or not. If not, well, it could be worse. I need to run my wiring in, and I really don't want. It's got this nice flat Molex end on it, which I've unplugged. I really don't want to cut the wire, nor do I want to cut a hole big enough to get our fuse block through. Of course I could, but I don't want to. So what I'm going to do, because this is a Molex end, I should be able to go, there's just some little pins in there. I should be able to pull these out of the Molex. I know the red was to the outside and the black to the inside. So I'll be able to, and that's red to the outside with the bent ends to the top. So I'm gonna remove the pins, pull them out of this Molex end, then feed my wires through. I got a nice little grommet, but I can do that for the wiring, and it'll make a nice neat through here on our console without a big giant hole. So I'm gonna do that next. Okay, I've gently pulled these out, and all I used was my little screwdriver, and you can see the little tabs on either side. They just, all you had to do is push them in to pull these wires out. I'll clean these up a little bit while they're out, and put a little dielectric on them. I'll bend the tabs back out and snap the fitting back on when I'm done, and then plug this in. So now I can drill just a very nice small little 3/16 hole to put this through the console now, and I'll have a nice rubber grommet and make a nice neat fitting. So that's next. Alright, wires are back through. Unfortunately I made my hole a little too small for my grommet, so I'm going to go without it. I've gone ahead and bent the tabs back out a little bit, cleaned these up with a little bit of steel wool so they're nice and shiny again. So I'm going to go ahead and put those, put my end back on.